bad haul today, Schmidt. Ew. It's Breno. I hope you enjoyed the video. I just wanted to do a quick little bit of talking after it. We don't obviously do a heap of this in our videos just because like you come here to watch spearfishing, not watch people talk for ages and ages. But it was a good dive on the weekend, got out both days, and brought a fella named James with us as well. It was his first time spearfishing and I think he enjoyed himself. But what I wanted to talk to you about was just some of the gear that we use. I know we've done a couple videos on this, but it's questions we get asked all the time. I'll run you through what we've got and some of the prices that we paid on a couple of things. And this gear will be enough to get you started, get you in there, bloody having a good time and hammering a few fish, especially for you can do like us is rock hop. So first things first, probably what you're gonna want to look at, or the thing that excites people the most, I think, is your spear guns. So we've obviously got I've obviously got a few here, but I've been doing it for a while. It's a really old Sea Hornet that was given to me. My very first timber Sea Hornet that was given to me when I was 12 as a Christmas present. That's what got me started in the diving. Mad Mick, or Dad. This kind of spear gun will get you everything that you want to get, especially when you're just starting out. Hell, even if you could get out and get into amongst some pelagics like kingies and dolphin fish, this spear gun will do the job. This is a Mares. This gun, it's a 110, so that 110 centimeters, that's the length of the barrel. So from there up to the muzzle is 110 centimeters. This is a good entry level gun. It was 180 bucks. Brand new, 180. That's with your bloody spring steel shaft, your rubber, your line, everything. The only thing you got to watch with these guns is that it's got a safety. You got safety on, safety off. When it's in the water, that does flap around a little bit, and it can obviously float into on when you're not realizing it and go to pull the trigger and nothing's going to happen. So you just got to watch that. I think what we'll do with this one is just drill it out a bit and maybe whack a cable tie through there just so it stays in the off position. So yeah, let's just put it that way. So that way, drill a hole through there, whack a little cable tie through it, and then it won't slide back across, and then you won't have that problem. But other than that, this is a good gun. It's still got a rail, as you can see, so the spear shaft to sit on, and this will absolutely get the job done. If you're wondering what that white stuff is on there, that's actually talcum powder. So talcum powder is really good at keeping your rubber in good condition once it's out of the water. Once you've cleaned all the salt off your gun, whack some talcum powder on it, and that'll just help keep the rubber dry and in good condition so it doesn't sort of perish and go a bit funny and gross, which is what can happen with them. Wetsuits. So there is just a huge multitude of wetties you can go with. Depending on where you're diving, like around the coast of New South Wales here in Australia, 3mm steamer like these will get you pretty much anywhere. You don't need to go and spend $500-600 on a Torelli or something like that necessarily. There was ones that with the Yamamoto foam that you got to liquefy to get on, like what I used to have. You would have seen in my earlier videos. This wetty was about $150 delivered. Has a size chart on the website. I just googled wetsuits and these Ocean Hunter ones come up, and Ocean Hunter are making some pretty cheap gear, pretty reliable. I've had this wetsuit for about a year now. It's been really good. So this is a 3mm wetty. It's got knee pads and it's got a chest pad for when you're chest loading your gun. Pretty good. Jade's been using, this is actually a surfing wetsuit, a Roxy surfing wetsuit. This one's a 4.3. So what that means is that it's 4mm stick in the chest here to here, and then 3mm in the arms and legs. Now, we've been diving in this video. This was weekend just gone. It's July. It's bloody middle of winter, and this kept us plenty warm. We were in the water about an hour and a half, 2 hours both days with a cold westerly blowing. It was about 10 degrees outside, and we were fine. So I think this wetsuit was a little bit more expensive just because you can see it's a Roxy. But again, you know, for around $150, there's your wetty. You can go cheaper again, depending on on your budget and that kind of thing. But this is a good starting point. Mirage Razor float. I just ordered this online. I think it was like $50 delivered from Obsession Dive in Darren Point. Craig and Justine, bloody great people that run that shop, and super knowledgeable, super friendly, and really well priced gear. And they stock everything from beginner stuff all the way up to going out and chasing titles kind of stuff. So dive float is a must. You need, even with these in the water, some boaties still get a bit too close to you. Unfortunately, not everyone pays attention out there. Attached to that is your rig cord. So you can obviously buy actual rig cord from dive shops. This is ski rope. I got this because it's durable, gets smashed and dragged through rocks, all sorts of stuff like that. This ski rope's about 15 years old now, and it's still going strong. So just a testament to how durable it is, and also if you clean your gear off once you get out of the water, how long it'll last. So for rock hopping and what we do, this is only about 7 meters long, should really be about 10 to 15. Yeah, probably at least 10 to 15. Just so when you're diving down, you're not dragging the float under the water. But again, that depends on where you dive and how deep you go. Then we come to some flippers. These flippers, these are SEAC motor flippers. Pretty flexible, pretty durable though. They're a techno polymer plastic. I think that's just a fancy way of saying they're like a molded plastic. These were $100, so something like this will get you going in the water all day like a torpedo. You'll be flying through the water wearing flippers like this. Or if you want to spend more like 500, you can get some fiberglass ones like these leader fins here, which are actually really good. I'm obviously a bit bigger and heavier than Jade, so I got ones that were slightly stiffer and bit more of a bit more length in them, and also being fiberglass, they can take a bit of beating around the rocks like these ones have. Masks. This is a really good one. It's nice silicone. This is also Ocean Hunter. These guys want to send me some free stuff, I'd love that. But really good mask. This feels really good. It's camo, come with a snorkel. It was about $70 from the local dive shop, so I've looked online, that's about what they go for. But definitely a good quality mask. Tempered glass. When you're getting goggles for the first time, use the lighter trick on the inside of the lens. You just hold the lighter underneath, it'll go black and then it'll go white, and you'll see it go out around the lens. That's the silicone burning off. Then get a bit of toothpaste, rub the toothpaste on the inside of the lens, rub it around all the silicone, let it sit for a couple of hours, and then rinse it off, and that'll clear any residue that's left. The only other thing you need to do then is spit in your goggles before you get in the water. So spit in the lens, rub it around in there, rinse it out with the salt water, bang them on, you'll be right, no fog. If you're like me, and you've got a bit of a bloody beard, what I do is get Vaseline, rub Vaso around the edge here, around where your beard is, and anywhere else, maybe if you're super hairy or something, I don't know, but I rub it all the way around the lip now, but especially along there, and then I rub a bit on my mo, and what that does is forms a waterproof seal, so you don't have to trim your beard before you get in the water, and then you don't have any leaks. So just something to think about there if you're a hairy bugger like me. Now gloves, grab an abalone and crayfish, sticking your hand up in the crevices where you can't really see. There's sea urchins and barnacles and all sorts of things. You don't need to go out and spend $50 on a pair of gloves. These are nitrile gloves from Owly. They were like $4. So they do the same thing. You've got good grip under the water. They absolutely do the job you need them to do, and they're a fraction of the price of what some of the other gloves are that are out there. They do exactly the same thing, so you don't need to go spending crazy amounts of money on gloves. Booties as well, or socks, whatever you want to call them. These are only about $20, $30, depending on the brand. You can get different thicknesses, so if your foot pocket is a little bit loose, you can get thicker ones. So these are only 1 mil, because that was all that's needed. I actually don't wear booties with those slippers over there, but I'd probably only go 1 mil on them too. But you can go 3 mil, 5 mil.
So keep that in mind. If it feels a bit loose when your foot's dry in there, look at getting some booties. That'll fill it out a bit, make it stick a bit better. And also, you know, I do get a bit of heel rub on the heel, but and a booty will stop that. But I don't mind. It doesn't sort of give me too much grief. So that'll also help keep you warm too, especially in winter. We can go over to your weight belt. So lead now is anywhere between 15 and 20 bucks a lead, depending on where you go. Depending on your body weight and the thickness of your wetsuit, it depends on how many you need. So these are 3 pounders, and that's half. That's 1.5 pound. You should be neutrally buoyant in the first atmosphere. So the first 10 meters of water, when you dive down, you shouldn't sink and you shouldn't float. That's technically the correct weight to have. Okay. For me, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 3-pounders, and I probably need another one of these just to keep me neutral. I do sort of, on a full breath hold, I do sort of start to come back up a bit. One thing that's a must, partly for grabbing abalone and urchins and things, but partly for safety, is a good dive knife. Slip it onto your weight belt, keep it on you, and just make a habit. Your weight belt will slide around on you when you're in the water, and this will end up at the back of you, no doubt, but just make a mental note of where it is. Check every few minutes if you could be bothered. I do. But if you get tangled up or anything like that, you want quick access to your knife so you can cut yourself free. There's a few dive videos of blokes getting tangled, but something like this is, I think this was like about 40 bucks, this one, delivered. So does the job, helps me clean fish, helps me grab some abs, and just a bit of safety in the water. Now, the other thing I attached to my float was I just bought a keeper net. It was like 10 bucks. Got a pool noodle from Kmart for a couple of bucks. Just put that on it, cable tied it. That attaches to the float and floats in the water like that. So when you're grabbing crays and abalone, you just bloody bang them straight in that, and they'll just sit in there, and that'll just sit on the top of the water. Happy days, away you go. So I reckon that probably pretty much covers everything, Schmidt. Just wanted to run you through some of the gear, a couple of little tips and tricks just about Vaseline and burning out the silicone on the inside of the goggles, and the talcum powder on the rubbers to help them last longer. But you keep your gear clean, you look after it, it's not that hard, it'll last for years. And yeah, look, hopefully he's got something out of the video. Enjoy, Schmidt. It's bloody great talking to you as always, and can't wait to get the next video out.